Palworld, a delightful game about exploring, crafting, and enslaving the innocent to be cogs in the military-industrial complex. And I'm over here starting to think that Palworld is actually a lot like real-life human civilization. I mean, without the questionable salamanders and the high-explosive penguins, but just hear me out here. Human civilization starts out a lot like a new game of Palworld. You start out butt-ass naked, just punching rocks and sticks and shit. And like our ancestors, you create tools, you master fire, you hunt, you gather. And you know, after like a few thousand years of tossing sticks at fucking mammoths, mankind got around to inventing a new game meta. Our ancestors domesticated plants and animals. In the words of James C. Scott, we selectively breed domesticates for the qualities we desire: rapid reproduction, toleration of confinement, docility, meat and milk and wool production.
Looks pretty familiar.
In Palworld, you can also capture and tame wild animals. You can selectively breed them to get specific traits or characteristics. And many of the pals, including the 3 starters, are based on domestic animals like sheep, a chicken, a kitty cat. In Palworld, you can breed a dodo bird that shits out nuclear bombs. Fuck! While in the real world, we turned wolves into doggos.
We're so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Once you start farming, you're able to produce a reliable supply of food at your base. So now you don't have to go out and punch chickpeas in the face every 5 minutes. Agriculture allows for large, sedentary populations, the buildup of cities, and the specialization of labor. Since there's a surplus of food, this means everyone else can work as builders, miners, cooks.
I don't wanna work.
Palworld and human civilization are spurred on by material wealth and technological innovations. And this industrial drive eventually leads to faster and more efficient production, and society benefits from that production, giving us better medicine, consumer luxuries, and monkey machine guns. And we typically see this as the trajectory of human history. The longer we're around, the more advanced we become, and life just keeps getting better and better and better. Or does it? In 1987, historian Jared Diamond wrote an article criticizing this progressivist view of history. He called agriculture the worst mistake in the history of the human race. He argued that people living in agricultural settlements worked more, slept less, and had less free time than hunter-gatherers. Sedentary cities also provided unbalanced, less nutritional diets and were often plagued by disease. Perhaps the biggest offense is that agriculture allowed for oppressive class distinctions.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed, bloody peasant!
A class of non-producing elites reaped the benefits of the laboring class. So where do you find those lazy pieces of shit in Palworld? Well, that person is you. It's fucking you. While your pals toil away, you have the freedom to do whatever you please. All the illness, wounds, and mental ailments that often have to be cured throughout the game are in fact caused by you. By working your pals, you make them ill, and then you give them life-saving medicine to cure the disease that you caused, so they can get back to work.
I have crippling depression.
Sure, pals aren't naturally peaceful, but you also train and equip them to spread violence on even greater scales. Not to mention, there's like this highly dubious market for slave labor that the player can engage in. If you're looking for a final boss in Palworld, you know, the ultimate bad guy, well, look no further, because that person is you.
Say goodnight to the bad guy!
I mean, all jokes aside, the devs over at Pocket Pair definitely had something to say about human civilization?
Are there any incentives to being friend with the pals? Because it seems like being a slaver is more lucrative.
It's same as reality. Some people are kind to people, some people are not, and treat others inhumanly.
I mean, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that Palworld is actually about the end of human civilization. Palworld could exist in a timeline where human civilization has crumbled because of war and famine and disease. Throughout the course of the game, you will run into remnants of an ancient civilization. Its relationship to real-life modern society isn't totally clear. The Palpagos Islands are separated from the rest of the world by this mysterious fog. But the fact that spark plugs are an ancient technology in this game, that kind of has me a little concerned about, what happens to us.
You maniac!
What precisely happened to the Palpagos ancient civilization hasn't been explained completely in-game. But the remaining human inhabitants are scattered throughout the island, and your interactions with them suggest that they are scared and powerless. This island is a living hell. The people I came with aren't with us any longer. Those damn pals ate every one of them. Don't we think we're being a little overly dramatic here? Am I really supposed to believe like this cute little lamb just fucking opened its mouth like an anaconda and swallowed a whole fucking human? That seems a little... I don't know. The only organized societies on the island are the 5 factions that you battle throughout the game. These factions possess technology and weapons, but I'm not really sure that they actually are producing these things. They may just be scavenging some of it from the ancient civilization, but who really knows? I don't. But one thing is apparent. The only one that we can be absolutely sure knows about agriculture and industry is you, a castaway from the outside world.